video where we talk about the home construction spreadsheet, which helps you to organize building a house, the cost, the schedule, step-by-step checklist, and building the house. And this is part 7. So now we're going to go over the exterior windows and doors, electrical system, plumbing, and HVAC. I know it's kind of a strange combination there to hit, but it'll make more sense here in a second. But anyway, let's hit the exterior windows and doors. So when we come down here to exterior windows and doors, you may have noticed again that the total cost up there in the summary was $5,800, which matches this. And this is where you can go through and detail out are your window materials, like whether you want to do it on a each basis or you want to do lump sum. That's still similar. Then the exterior doors, you can go through front door, back door, other, detail out your exterior windows and exterior doors, labor, the garage door, overhead doors and insulation, windows and exterior doors, miscellaneous. You can go through and detail that out. Then on your electrical system, you can talk to your electrical subcontractor, see how much his labor is going to be, how much of the lighting fixture is going to be for the materials, how much is it to do the underground utilities. So like if you're laying a slab, this is the kind of stuff that you would do before you lay that slab in there. And then any miscellaneous there. On your plumbing, a similar thing with your plumbing subcontractor, you've got the plumbing labor. You can detail that out. How much is the water heaters? How much of the plumbing fixtures? How about natural or propane gas? Utility, rough-in, storm drainage, sprinklers, water sewer, septic tanks, all that stuff. You can detail it all out here. This will match over there on the up above on the summary. And then on the HVAC system, the way I have it in here is just lump sum. You're going to have a HVAC contractor come in, install it. Then we move over to the summary here, and you can see, okay, so for example, you've got your electrical system here, you got your plumbing system here, you got your HVAC over here, which is part of this smaller other piece of the pie here. Then you got your exterior windows and doors here, so that you can see relatively from a high level view how much of this cost it takes up there. And then on the schedule, you can see the exterior windows and doors. So you can see that these are listed out similar to the cost tab, but now this is talking about schedule. So your windows and materials, according to this plan, we'd know, okay, I need to have that happening on the 17th of April. My exterior window materials, I need to be doing that on the 17th of April as well. Windows and exterior door labor, that needs to be happening on the 20th of April. Overhead doors, miscellaneous, 21 April. And then, and remember, some of these things might have been, some of these other things that were listed in the cost tab, those might be happening in other parts of the schedule under a different heading, like maybe up here because you needed to start that process up here, for example. And then getting in touch with your electrical contractor, that kind of stuff. Those may have been happening before, but anyway. On the electrical system here, and not to confuse you, I don't want to confuse you there. I think I confused myself actually. What I was just talking about is something that will happen on a step-by-step checklist. So you can almost just ignore what I just said about that happening in a different location. Pretty much everything you've seen so far should be a one-to-one. So like if we look at electrical systems, so select electrical materials. Then you've got underground utilities, ditch cover inspection, electrical rough-in. Then you've got electrical rough-in inspection, deliver the electrical materials, TCI inspection, electrical final, and meter loop services. So you can see that it's starting to deviate a little bit here. So on the electrical systems here, some of these might correlate to what you would have a cost for in these materials and things, but this is getting into more of these kind of things that you're seeing under the electrical, for example, is something that you would see more on a step-by-step checklist of electrical things that need to be happening. So and don't worry too much. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next tab. But this is not necessarily a one-to-one on the electrical systems here of the cost. So like So if we look at the cost again, for example, I'm going to go back to the cost tab here and look at the electrical costing. You can see you've got electrical labor, electrical light fixtures, underground utilities, and miscellaneous. So that's all you really have there for the cost. But when you go over to the schedule under electrical, you can see you've got select your electrical materials. Then you've got stuff underground utilities, ditch cover inspection. You can see it's going into a little bit more detail as far as like items that may not be necessarily covered under cost, but so like this may be more under the permits. This may have happened in the costing out the permits, like for electrical and stuff like that. That may have been located in a different part of the cost tab under that one. But, for example, the TCI inspection, I don't think that's specifically called out verbatim, under the cost. And then deliver the electrical materials, that's not necessarily called out in the cost tab either. But that's just letting us know, okay, that needs to be happening, and it needs to be being delivered like on 9 July. Meter loop services, final inspection. So you can see the main point I'm trying to make, though, is that as you go through this, under each of these items, whether it's electrical or plumbing or HVAC or windows or whatever it is, it may not match one-to-one for what you saw on the cost tab whenever you're going through the schedule and what needs to happen. Okay. And I'm gonna go through the rest of these items, plumbing and HVAC, on this tab as well. But I think it'll make more sense when we get over to the next tab on step-by-step checklist. All right. So the plumbing systems, you can see we've got rough-in and water sewer lines that needs to be happening on 6 April. Water connection, connect the water, 8 April. Sewer connection on 8 April as well. Storm drainage underground, 8 April. Lawn and sprinklers, 8 April. So you can see you've got the plumbing guy coming out, but there is a window here. It's like from 8 to 9. So over these 2 or 3 days or so, your plumbing guy's out here doing stuff, basically, is the idea. And then you've got the ground, sewer, water service, storm drainage, lawn, spring, all that inspection for the plumbing happening between 9 and 10 April. And then you've got the rough-in, water, sewer, and natural propane gas, inside, outside, top out, after framing. You've got that happening between 26 April and 1 May. You've got the rough-in inspection for the plumbing happening between 1 and 2 May. And then you've got the water heaters being installed between 8 and 9 July. You've got the plumbing fixtures. You need to go select those between 26 and 27 June. At least that's the latest date, right? You can do it before then. But then you've got the plumbing fixtures install and connect between 10 and 12 July. Then you've got the inspection for the gas and final plumbing there, 12 and 13 July. HVAC, you've got, and again, we're going to go over the same thing in the step-by-step checklist here in a minute. But anyway, we've got I'm trying to cover it tab by tab here on the Excel spreadsheet. So you've got the HVAC system. You want to rough it in between 2 and 5 May. You got your duct and seal cover, grill seal inspection. You got all that happening on 5 and 6 May. Then you got your HVAC system final, but happening between 13 and 16 July. So you can see that's happening over a course of 5 or 6 weeks. Then you got your final inspection happening between 16 and 17 July. Okay, and then now we'll switch over to the step-by-step checklist, and you can see that we've got the mechanicals. All right, so the reason why we're covering all this in the same video is because you can see now when we get to the step-by-step checklist, it's not exactly one-to-one, because what's included under quote-unquote mechanicals is what is like MEC. So the M stands for mechanical, and normally people are talking about the HVAC system whenever they say that. And then the E of the MEC, the E part is talking about electrical, so electrical is covered under that as well. And then the the MEP, sorry about that, the MEP, so the P part of it is the plumbing. So under the mechanicals, people are normally talking about the MEP. So all three of those, the mechanical, the electrical, and the plumbing. So like your HVAC system, your electrical, and your plumbing. And so that's what's covered under these mechanicals here. And you can see that like we've got the rough-in plumbing happening 1 May. We got the rough-in inspection on 2 May. And then you've got, hire a roofer. By the way, this is kind of, even though it's under mechanicals, this is still something that needs to be happening about now, so that your roofer is going to be on site and ready, because he's got to plan you into his schedule. He needs some time. You can't just call him up one day and say, hey, can you come tomorrow to do my roofing, right? He's got like maybe 5 other projects. He's got to put you on the schedule and stuff like that. So it's just letting you know, sometime in this time frame, you need to be thinking about and calling up your roofer. What we're looking at now is a step-by-step checklist. And so, yeah, you need to call and put them on the schedule. Then next item here, we got rough in the HVAC. That's happening on 2 May. Then you got the HVAC inspection after that. Then you've got, the duct seal, all the other inspections there that are listed here. You got your rough in electrical happening on 6 May. You got your electrical inspection, which is informal there in the light green. Then you got the dark green there. That's a formal inspection for the electrical rough in. Then you got the TCI inspection. Then you've got the hire the dry wall. And by the way, the TCI is talking about the temporary power. And then you've got the hire the drywall contractor. Again, I know this is under mechanicals, but stuff you got to be thinking about now and doing now. And then you got hire the brick or siding contractor. Then you've got this purple one, which means you got to go do a material, something that has to do with material. So have the roofing supplier do material estimate, order roofing material. So and then you can also look over here, follow this row right over here, and you can see that, remember, this is like your materials payment points right over here. And these are your labor payment points here. But just as an example, and if you need an overview on this, just go back to part 1 and watch that video again. But on your materials here, you can see that you can pay. You're going to be paying the building supply store for roofing materials approximately $5,600, shown right here, and that's going to happen between 1 May and 15 May, just right up in here whenever you go do that. Okay, and then next item, install the roofing. You've got your guy coming out. He can start after the plumbing and the vents and other types and all the chimneys are installed, for the plumbing. After your plumber runs his vents through the roof, then your guy can start roofing after that. Then you're going to do your roofing inspection. And I just noticed that I've also got the roofing included under the mechanicals as well. So it's got your MEPs and your mechanicals. Then there's other items in there that you can start doing, like you can rough in your security system. You've got your guy out there. He's running electrical out there. Maybe he's the same guy that can do your security system. Then you've got install the doors and locks. So that you can keep it locked during the working hours. You want to verify the HVAC tonnage. You want to mark the floors, locating the HVAC outlets, the electrical outlets, the switches, the air vents, prior to hanging all the wallboard. You want to mark all that stuff out so that you'll be able to locate those things, especially after the wallboard is hung up. Then you've got your framing inspection right here. You've got, next item, you got insulate the walls and others as needed. Have your insulation inspection here. You've got, that was unofficial. Now you got an official one here. Then you've got have the wallboard supplier calculate the board count. That's happening on 7 May. Then you've got return any unused lumber. Hope you working with a company where you can get your money back here for anything that you didn't use. Then you can lathe and brick tile inspection. Then you've got order the wallboard here on 7 May. Call the bricks sales rep to come out to the job, give you an estimate of the number of bricks and mortar that you need. That's happening on 2 May. And by the way, let's pick out this order the wallboard on 7 May. You can see if you just come right on over here this way, then you can see that you can order from your building supply store for the drywall. 43.75 happening on 7 May. And again, that's going to help for your cash draw when you come up to your cash draw charts. This will help you to see, okay, how much I have to pay and when do I have to pay it. And that's probably pretty good for this video. I think I'm going to stop it right there.